going to remove the wheel, use a 19mm socket, take the lug nuts off. Take the wheel off. Remove this bolt for the brake hose bracket. Use a 12mm socket. And slide this aside. This wheel speed sensor wire, you need to remove this bracket that secures it to the strut. Just use a trim tool and try to get underneath it. There we go. And grab this rubber grommet right here and just slide it out of the bracket, just like that. Now I'm going to remove this nut. I'm going to use an 18mm wrench and a 6mm hex head just to hold the stud from spinning. Loosen this up. If you have a ratchet wrench, it'll be a little easier. Take that nut off and slide the link out. Now we're going to take the lower nuts and bolts out. Use a 19mm wrench on the bolt, 22mm socket. Take the nut off. Now just take a punch and a hammer and just tap the bolts out. And just be careful of the knuckle. This will slide out, but you don't want it to come out of the CV joint. You want to be careful with that. So don't pull the knuckle out too far. You can use a bungee cord or some type of strap to keep it from pulling away too far. That's just going to prevent any damage from the CV joint from popping out. Up top, there's a cover right here over the strut. Take this weather stripping and just put it to the side. Use a small blade screwdriver, straight blade screwdriver, and just get underneath. Try to pop this up. There we go. Pull that out. It's just clipped in. Now I'm going to use a 14mm socket and take the nuts off the top of the strut mount. And before I take the last one off, I am going to have to support it from underneath. Use a magnet if you have to. Now with the last one, I'll just grab the strut from underneath with my other arm and take it off. And just grab the strut and slide it down. Now I'm going to take the new strut, make sure you have one nut in your hand, and slide it in position, line it up, and put the new nut on. I'm not going to tighten it down all the way, just leave it somewhat loose. And now I can get the other nuts on. Now just get these nuts started. You don't have to tighten them down yet. We're going to torque them at the end. It'll make it easier to install the rest of the strut. Now this is loose, they're all started. So we'll leave it like that for now. Now I can take this strap off and line the knuckle up. Get the bolt started. And put the nuts on. Now I'm going to torque this to 116 foot-pounds. Do the same on the lower one. Now we can install the sway bar link. And put the nut on. And then tighten this down. And torque this nut to 58 foot-pounds. Now take the bolt for the brake hose and line it up. And tighten this bolt down. Nice and snug, it's good. Now we can put this wheel speed sensor wire into the bracket and push this lock in. Now I can tighten these top nuts down with a 15mm socket. Now torque these nuts to 33 foot-pounds. Just go around again, double check. Now take this cover, line it up, and lock it down. Put the weather strip back in place. Now put the wheel on, and the lug nuts. Now we can torque these lug nuts down to 80 foot-pounds in a star pattern or cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check. After replacing these components, you want to bring the vehicle to a local garage to have it aligned so that you don't have premature tire wear.